Good morning. Hurricane Lee. Now, I've heard about it over the weekend. Whenever it started to appear. If you're like everyone else, your days are running into one another. They truly are. And this hurricane was supposed to turn into a Category 5 hurricane. And I'm not sure what the potential outcome, hello, Alphabooks, honey, was supposed to be with this hurricane. But I've looked at a few of the news stories. I only skimmed through them, and it looks like since it's weakening, and it was supposed to make a target toward like the East Coast or something of the United States, it, it seems like some kind of pressure system came in, and it like made it go the different way. And when I saw that, I thought, well, it sounds an awful lot like this could have been used as a weapon. It truly could have been a weapon of war targeting the east coast of the United States. And then somehow somebody used some more, I don't know, weather stuff kind of pattern things to push it away. And if you think about it, if truly weather would be used as a weapon and forces of nature like this, if you had one party creating it from somehow, maybe up in orbit or something or on the ground, and you have another party that has the same type of technology that can counteract it and push it away, that's mind-boggling. It's totally, totally mind-boggling if you think about it. I'm going to turn this light on. I'm going to flip it around, you all. This morning, I'm going to flip it. Good morning, everyone, if you're just tuning in. Because it's wasn't it supposed to hit a Category 5 is what I'm thinking. And it doesn't look like it's going to do it. They need to look at the west coast of Africa. That's where they seem to come from. Well, that's kind of probably something to that. There really is kind of something to that. It really is, if you think about it, the west coast of Africa. It's good that you're all studying it. That this is wild. To see the words, Hurricane Lee is expected to slow down its movement significantly into the next week as it passes north of northern Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico, according to the National Hurricane Center. You all put your comments in there like Frank did. Frank, honey, was that you? Yeah, put your comments in there, what you think is happening with this, because it's like, wow, I guess it's like, I don't know, you all. It's, you can watch it reach Florida, but I don't want to play any videos because some videos may have sound to them, and I don't want to play the sound and stuff like that. It's going to hit the Maine. Is it going to, you all, if it's coming toward it, the Maine? Let's I know they've got some tracks, you all, and let me pull up this one because they said it's kind of unclear. I'm going to try to push this right here to see if we could see it, maybe hear it, just this one video. I mean, just let me push it, you all. Gina, can you get to it? I'm trying to get to it, you all. I really am trying to get to it. Let's see if I can get it in here and mute myself. Some say, Gina, you need to mute yourself. You talk too much. That's fine. Let me talk. Let me talk while I can talk. Let me talk while I still have the freedom to do so.
Out here, a Category 2 now, different from the Category 5 storm that it was. But, you know, at this time yesterday, the storm was kind of smushed. That whole west edge was just flat. Now you're seeing signs that it's starting to expand again, looking a little bit more symmetrical across this area. And that may be a sign that that southwest shear that's been slowing things down for its development is easing. And because of that, we are now forecasting, or the National Hurricane Center really is forecasting and continue to forecast an increase in wind speed through Monday into Tuesday, when that 130 to even 140 range is possible once again. Still forecast to do that turn to the north eventually as well. Just look how slowly it goes. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all effectively in the same location. And then maybe by Friday, starting that turn to the north. But when it happens and exactly where it happens is crucial. How strong is this high? When do we get a break in that western edge to allow for this turn to the north? How strong is this jet stream dip and this trough that could either help to pick it up or help to slingshot it back towards New England just a little bit? Those big players are some of the things that determine the track as to where Lee is going to go next. So we use the ensembles, not just the normal run of the model, but all the different versions, the little changes. Very consistent through here, not as consistent as we move north, but still the majority of them and the average of them is east of New England and in towards Canada.
Well, that was kind of wild. That was kind of wild. It's going to bring dangerous waves. Let me see if I can get to this. Dangerous waves to the East Coast. I think there's another one, you all. Let me see this. See what she's saying. She can talk. Let's see if she can.
East Coast, where the rip currents will be elevated a little bit. It's moderate in the yellow along the east side of Florida, even up to Georgia. Low for now through the Carolina coastline, but likely to increase and get worse as we go through this upcoming week. This is a look at our wave forecast. So the legend basically shows us 15 to 20 footers out there, closer to the center, which of course now is a Category 2 hurricane. Large waves coming out from that center as we go through the next couple of days, and definitely being felt here along the southeast coast as we head closer toward the end of this upcoming week. Bermuda, keeping a close eye on you guys as well. And even though it stays to the east of the Bahama Islands, Paradise Island, Nassau will still experience some of those bigger waves and rip current risks. And there's a position with the higher waves well out to sea by the time we make our way towards next Sunday.
Next Sunday. Wow, that thing's going to be around for a long time. Let me push this. I'm going to push it back to me. I'm sure some people are in the way of that just because it doesn't make a direct hit. I'm sure that you're going to feel it. You're going to feel the effects. It's massive. There's a chance that it emerge. Rose Honey. Is this going to happen? Rose Honey, are you trying to say that with this thing right here, I'm just jumping into the comment, that this could be a reason, just like in Maui, to do what you said that was going to happen? Well, that's a very not nice way to do stuff like that, if that's what they're doing, because that sounds kind of, oh my gosh, Rose. Then you have to, because they could get a whole bunch of them at once. That's just terrible to even think about. But in the world that we live in, anything's possible. Anything is possible. Nadine, honey, I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised what goes on behind the scenes. The unthinkable goes on behind the scenes. But it seems like they know that the weather is coming. And truly, it's like the saying, he who controls the weather controls the world. Remember that saying? Let me pull that up. I'm trying to type it out. Who controls the weather? The weather controls the world. I'm going to mute that speaker because I don't want to hear it going off. I don't. It's too loud. I'm going to mute it. That's what I'm going to do. The world. You keep those comments coming, you all. Okay. Let me see this. The awakened presidency. I don't know what this is. A statement by a president on the agreement with associate Soviet. What was this? I wonder what that was, you all. And how long ago was this? Oh, look at this, like here. The 36th President of the United States from 1963 to 1969, the statement by the President on the agreement with the Soviet Union for the exchange of weather information. Well, who might you be, Lyndon B. Johnson? You made a deal? He is happy. He is happy. Let's look at him. To announce that we have reached an agreement with the Soviet Union for the exchange of weather information between Washington and Moscow. It's a good step forward, he said, in building the world weather system. The world weather system. I really didn't know that part right there. And he said, to which I pledged the American cooperation last June at the Holy Cross College. This cooperative effort has grown out of the beginning made by President Kennedy in his speech to the United Nations on September 25th, 1961. He said that our country would propose cooperative efforts between all nations in weather predictions and eventually in weather control. How dare him say something like that? Did you know that he said that, you all? Did you know that Kennedy said such a thing? No, I know. This is a verse I've seen of it. It truly is. Our country would propose cooperative efforts between all nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control. Now, I know about that agreement that they made. All the nations were signing not to use it as a weapon. But this right here, behind the scenes, in 61 and 62, the United Nations, you all, did you hear this? We're going to look at it. If you're just tuning in, this is important. We got some weather. The weather stuff is picking up. The weather, the earthquakes, everything is picking up. Yes. Let's see. Nobody's calling him a traitor. Those were the words. You know what? Traitor is not in my vocabulary. But this is really interesting that something like this was said. But presidents are just mouthpieces of what's behind them, is what they are. Mouthpieces because there's something bigger controlling people behind. In 61 and 62, the United Nations called upon the World Meteorological Organization to develop a program of cooperation that would strengthen the weather service and research. Why would you want to do that, really? Why would you want to do stuff like that? The organization responded with a concept of a world weather system and has designated Moscow and Washington as two world weather centers. But where does that leave China and the other ones, you all? Truly, where does it? Rose, honey, what you got to say? The heat will be in the hundreds. Yes. They hope that other nations of the World Meteorological Organization may eventually participate in the exchange of data over the weather link. It's the United Nations. Now they're talking about outer space. We expect that the formal terms of this new agreement be released next week. This is in 61 and 62 at a meeting in New York of the United Nations Committee on Peaceful Uses of Outer Space. Outer space. They want in the near future to announce the opening of their World Weather Center in Washington. They have been exchanging their test transmissions on an experimental basis. This is back in 61 and 62. and the American weatherman and the American public will immediately benefit from these improvements. International cooperation, international weather activities. This is 1964, October the 23rd of 1964. You're fully aware. We witness a substantial increase in international cooperation. World Weather System, federal agencies, Lyndon B. Johnson, the Honorable Lyndon B. Johnson, 1963 to 69. When was that one outer space guy who showed up for 3 years? What was his name? He was from another planet, and I can't. Thor, was it? No, it wasn't Thor. Can't remember his name. Was it in that time? We've done videos on him before. Valiant Thor. When was he around? Was he around in the 61 to 63 stage? Good morning, everyone. Valiant Thor. And did he exchange stuff? Valiant Thor. I can't find the timestamp of him at the moment. You can put it in there. It was 5 already, you all. Time, year, the year. I don't know. I'm not going to waste my time looking for it. I'm not. Okay, we see him. So we have around that, could be, maybe he exchanged some information. A Valiant Thor, a UFO, the Pentagon in a 3-year mission too. You can see him on March of 57. If he was around for 3 years, he had a, look at this from Villains Wiki. Valiant Thor is a supporting antagonist of the American Horror Story franchise in Death Valley. He is the android messenger of the extraterrestrial race. Let me do this, you all. We're talking about the weather, and the hurricanes and the technology. So he was considered an extraterrestrial, and he left. And now we got this hurricane stuff, Gina. That's not a hurricane. Well, we got this hurricane, and he who controls the weather controls the world. And we have a worldwide weather system, and the countries are all working in unison with one another. Truly, they are, the major players. You got 7 continents. You got the G7 is what, can't remember what it is. There's so many groups that they have formed. And we're not in control of the weather. We're not. We're not in control of what gets done in the world. We're not. There's major players out there. Weather as a weapon, and then weather as disruption to sneak and get you know what. Because there's human lives that end up missing. There are. They don't know where they are at. They don't know where the human lives went. The children. So that was 3 days ago. This was, look at these right here. Did someone say one of these is going to merge? Did you say this is going to merge with this? Because there's lots of swirling and stuff going around. Rose, honey, no matter what happens, we've got to protect them. It's true, Rose. It is. At this point, it doesn't matter how the weather is made. It doesn't. It's the fact that it's having a real world effect. It doesn't matter who's in control of it, because it's the people are literally being affected by it in the real world. Look at that. In the real world, the eye of the hurricane. So we could go back and we can look at the past all the time and analyze it and analyze it and analyze it. But in the present, it's already playing out. No matter who brought it to past, perfected the weather and the earthquakes and space wars and things like that. You heard a prophet say they're going to merge into a perfect storm, and it's going to be something that we haven't seen before. Captain trips you off. If you're hearing anything about what's happening, please put it in here, because it's good to have the comments in the live stream, and it's really good to have the comments in the after the live stream in the comment section about what is going on with this weather, because we got some powerful things happening and people prophesying. It's like, wow. I'm not going to go too much more. I'm not. It's just, they can get a lot of results. You can get a lot of results from a hurricane in many different areas. Really, you can. If you're that type of an entity, if you can use a weather as a weapon, if it was, or if it's a force of nature, you can get a lot accomplished in a bad way, which is not very good at all, from the destruction and stuff that it causes. A lot. I'm going to go, you all. Thank you for your comments in this live stream, y'all. Please put your comments in the comment section if you know something that's going to happen. You heard of something that's going to happen, because obviously this hurricane that is formed, it's going to do damage, a lot of damage. Like, even if it was like somehow something formed it, I don't think they're going to allow it to just dissipate without getting something out of it, really, if you think about it. You don't start, oh, well, they know what they're doing. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to go. So, y'all, if you didn't watch a dance video last night, we did a dance video on this YouTube channel. You have to go to the dancing playlist, or you go to the last video upload, and we danced. It's a happy song. It was. So I am going to go. Thank you all for your comments. Thank you, Apple Brooks Honey. If there's any other moderator on here, thank you. Rose Honey, the New York will flood. Be like that movie. Was it The Day After Tomorrow or something? Where it flooded and then everything had a mini ice age and everything iced over. It's like, yeah. Dance Monkey. Thank you, Frank Honey. It was a happy song. It was a happy song to dance. I'm going to go. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your morning. And love you.